impromptu video. There's been an update for IL-2 Great Battles. It's called Update 3.011. I did initially start the broadcast a few minutes ago, but it cut out of its own accord. I'm not sure why. Maybe internet connectivity. But anyways, here we are again. So this is an update for Tank Crew and for Flying Circus in particular. This update, as you can see, there's the Fokker DVII. This is the Fokker DVII. It's considered to be the best fighter plane of World War I. There's also the Sopwith Dolphin, and Tank Crew now has crew. So let's take this plane for a fly. So here we have the Fokker DVII, the best fighter plane of World War I. It has a BMW engine of approximately 180 horsepower, or maybe it was 200 horsepower, and it either does 200 or 180 kilometers per hour. It's a pretty strong plane. I believe the fuselage is made of steel tube fuselage and wooden wings, and of course a canvas skin to the wings of the fuselage. It has two machine guns that are synchronised to fire through the propeller. I think they're maximum machine guns. Normally they'd be water-cooled, but because you need to save weight, these ones have got a jacket. It is just air-cooled, which is fine because you've got so much airflow that you can make use of to cool the weapons. It's a liquid-cooled inline engine. So it's a strong plane and it's reasonably fast. I don't think it's as fast as the fastest plane in World War I. I think it would have been the SPAD 13 or something like that, but it's pretty close to it. But it has a lot of features that the faster plane doesn't have, such as really good manoeuvrability. And even though it's fast and it's manoeuvrable, it's also very strong. So that's the Fokker DVII. G'day Matt Man, how are you? My speech is drowned out by the game, so bummer. Here's update 3.011. So I'm going to fly the D7 and I'm going to fly the Dolphin, and then I'll jump over to Tank Crew and I'll have a look at. Apparently there's now crew for the tanks, so that'll be pretty good. So I don't know what it's going to look like, but let's have a look at that in due course. So there's actually a dogfight here between 8 D7s and 8 Dolphins. Let's have a look at the Dolphins. bit hit and miss. I just got to speak when I'm far away from the plane, I think. But what do you guys think? I reckon it looks pretty good. I think what's happened is that all of the Sopwith Dolphins have been shot down by all of the Fokker D7s, given that the D7 is a much stronger plane. There's a squad of 4 D7s there. I wonder what they're doing. Looks like they might even be going in for a landing. This is all AI, so we'll get an opportunity to see how the AI behaves in the biplanes. In a minute, I'll switch over to the Dolphin. The camo, it's pretty radical, eh? I think they call it lozenge or something like that. Sort of fits in with the name Flying Circus. Very circusy camo. And there's a few camo schemes. Check this one out. Sort of a winged dragon, I think. Very detailed. Alright, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to switch over to the Sopwith Dolphin. I'll be back in about 45 seconds at most. here we are. Thanks for sticking with me. So this is the Sopwith Dolphin. And down there we've got a D7. Let's see if I can take him out. These planes are pretty fragile, so you don't want to put them into too much of a dive like you would with a World War I plane, World War II. About to buy the phone. So I was looking at the options for the Sopwith Dolphin, and you can load it up with, it looks like 4 machine guns at once. And I think 2 of them are Lewis guns over the wing. The type of configuration that the pilot has to actually stand up in the cockpit, like take his harness off, take his safety seatbelt off, stand up in the cockpit whilst flying in order to change the drum magazines on the 2 Lewis guns. Very hairy stuff. And the D7's just lost its engine. I can see it's got a stationary propeller. I probably shouldn't have set the clouds as I did because it's quite dark and it's harder to see the aircraft. That's just because there's so much cloud. There he goes, he's crashed out. Well, the Sopwith Dolphin, in my hands at least, seems to do pretty good against the D7 set on ace mode. I'm trying to fly out of this cloud. The clouds are interesting thing about this aeroplane is that it makes some move to address the lack of visibility in a biplane by having the top wing significantly lower than is traditional for biplanes. And because it's so low, if they didn't cut the roof out of the top wing, the pilot's noggin would be swung by the wing. So the pilot kind of sits in a thing reminiscent of a basket or a cage or something. I guess you call it the 2 top wings, so as you can see that it's an interesting solution. There's some interesting stuff on the side of the fuselage there. What is that? What is that? It's a very streamlined looking aeroplane. I'm trying to remember if the Dolphin comes before or after the Camel. I've got a feeling that the Dolphin is earlier than the Camel. I think those things on the side of the fuselage look like radiators. Maybe they're radiators. Lift here, lift here, lift here, lift here. And you can see the foothold there where you can, a couple of feet holds there where you can step. I guess you got to climb over the top one to get into the plane. this is a pretty cool planet. I honestly don't know much about the Dolphin. I haven't heard much about it. And I've run out of ammo. Alright, let's leave the Dolphin now and let's go and have a look at the crew in tank crew. Apparently the Tiger and the KV1S now have crew. That's going to be interesting. Don't know what to expect. Let's have a look. I'm going to put this on pause for another 45 seconds I think, and then I'll be back with tank crew. Stay tuned. Alright, we're back and we're in a tank and I can see some feet So it looks like we do have a crew in this tank. Wow. How about that, eh? There's a crew. Very cramped, claustrophobic conditions in the tank, of course. These guys... Hey, here's another one. Is he the radio operator? I think not. I think no. They've all got the Beats by Dr. Dre headset with the I think they call it a larynx microphone type thing. The microphone that sits on the throat, and that's a pretty good thing for noisy environments. Alright, this must be the commander's position because it's the most elevated position in the vehicle, I think. Or is it the loader? So I've got a guy down there. What's he doing? Is he looking at a map or a radio or something? There's the driver. No, that's the gunner. That's the gunner. Alright, so that's the gunner. That's the gun. That guy there, what's his job? Is he I think he's the loader, or am I the loader? Or is it automatic? Alright, this is definitely the radio operator's position here. And what's this thing out here? It's all very mysterious. It's got an MG34. Got the radio. Looks like there's 2 radios there. That's way cool. So it seems that these tanks have a crew of 4. I wonder if I can get them to jump out of the tank so we can see them in the light of day. Right, that's me out of the tank. If I was these guys in this tank, I don't know how they do it. They must have a solution for it. But I'd be afraid of getting squashed by the gun if the turret got moved even a little bit. You'd be a goner, this guy and the driver. So I'll try and get the driver to jump out. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Here's our first candidate. As you can see, not all of the bugs are ironed out. The tank is still see-through if you but that's cool. I can see it's coming along nicely. What do you guys reckon? I reckon this is a pretty good development to tank crew. There's the radio operator and gunner looking fairly serene. He's got the stare, hasn't he? He's got the 6 mile stare or whatever it is from being in intense combat. I don't know what it is about the 1,000-yard stare or whatever it's called. I think it's like a I don't know, a fatalism or a banishing of empathy. Anyways, let's bring some other crew out. Right, so here I am in the driver's spot, and I'll see if I can get him to jump out of the hatch. Laryngophone, says Beefsteak. I bet it smelled like a Foot Locker in there after a couple of days, weeks. Yeah, totally. They would have had extreme measures for hygiene, these guys. I bet you anything. But at the same time, yeah, you can't really avoid it if you're stuck in a giant iron tank like this. All right, there we go. Looks like we've got twin tankers. So the one on our right is the driver, the one on our left is the radio operator. Here is the gunner or the commander. Yeah, this is the gunner. Hang on, how many guys are there in this tank? I think there's actually 5. I was thinking 4, but no, actually I think it's 5. Let's get this guy to jump out of his... If he can, I don't know if he's got a hatch. No, he's not moving. Alright, so here's the commander's position. He's definitely got a hatch. If I lean over, I can just sort of see the other guys over there. And there we go. Now we have 3 twins. 3 twins. It's a monster of a tank, isn't it? In these conditions with the mud and the inclines and everything, you really need something that has Caterpillar tracks on it. Wheels just don't cut it when you're driving off-road, especially when you weigh, what, 60 tonnes? 60,000 kilograms or something like that? How much does a Tiger weigh? I think it's got to be about at least 40 tonnes. Turn the turret, see if they duck. Yeah, that's an idea. I was trying to drive it just before and I couldn't get it to drive. I think with all the crew out, maybe it doesn't drive. We'll get to that soon. Looks like he's had a close shave there, and the hatches melded into the gun. Oh no, we're getting shot at. Where's that one that's shooting at me? In a minute, in fact probably right now, I'll switch over to the KV1S and I'll have a look at the crew there. Bear with me, I'll be back in 50 seconds. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry about that small delay there. So we've changed vehicles, so we're in the same spot exactly, and we're in the KV1S. Before I get started, maybe I'll just start the engine and take her for a drive down into the valley, or maybe I'll go over the hill. I'm going to get out of this position anyway because I was getting shot at. Here we are, the drivers. Is this the driver? Yeah, this is the driver. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's the terminology that I was looking for. Let's see what these maybe we've got quintuplets. Maybe we've got quintuplets. I'm just going to go 100 meters yonder so that when they start shooting at me, I won't be able to get a direct line of sight. Apparently you can knock down trees as well, so I might try that just over the hill. There's a shrub there, let's see how it fares. Okay, very nice, very nice. The tank seems to have a translucent quality to it though, but I guess it's early days. Let's try and knock a tree over. One that's not too big. How about that, Bert? Oh, I thought I'd just knock it straight over. I think I've conked my engine out as well. Hopefully I don't explode from that. Do you see any smoke? No, no smoke. I think it's... Okay, false alarm. Motor's drowning my voice out. Sorry about that. Alright, let's have a look at the... Okay, we have a crew member. Alright, okay, so this is the gunner, I think, and that must be the tank commander there, looking very resolved. He's definitely got the 1,000-yard stare as well. Alright, let's see if we can open that. Alright, so that's one. Wow, that's really well done. It looks realistic. It doesn't look like the uncanny valley. Looks very good. Fits the environment well. What do you guys reckon? Standing very proud with the chest. Hang on, let me see what we've got in the chat. Oh crap, head for the hills. Alright, you bunch of Fokkers, keep me entertained or I'll go fire up my own KV. Fokkers, ahaha, I was waiting for someone to make the Fokker joke. I hope that doesn't demonetize me. It is only the name of a Dutch aircraft company. Different to the German company of a similar name. And different to the four-letter swear word in English. Beefsteak wants to go and fly in circus. See you later. See you later, Beefsteak. Thanks for participating. Motor's drowning up. At me, will this go up as a VOD soon after video, as I've missed a lot? Yeah. As soon as the stream stops, it processes. You should be able to rewind right now if you want to, but then you'll miss out on the live content, or you can just watch it afterwards. Up to you. I wonder if those have escape hatches in the floor. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Saw that in a movie and it was a Yankee tank. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Tanks, I'm no expert at tanks, but tanks have escape hatches on the floor sometimes, which would be pretty useful. Jim says, looks great. Yeah, I agree. Looks fantastic. In a minute, I'll pull the rest of the crowd. Just let me have a look at these chats. Super chats. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, look at the soot below that MG. Looks realistic for sure. Yeah. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. I just demonetized myself. Alright, let's have a look at the rest of the crew. But my sentiments precisely. So who's this? This is radio operator and gunner, I'm assuming. He's not the loader, so how many guys in the tank? We've got probably 5 as well. There's the driver looking ready for action. Okay, let's see if we can open this hatch. Yeah, there we go, out into the fresh air. What are they? Are they fuel tanks? I've always assumed they're fuel tanks. Alright, let's have a look. External view. How about that, eh? Are they the same guy or are they different? Hey, he's looking around. That's quite a good shield there, actually. The way that hatch opens. Probably stop a 50 caliber at least. Probably stop a 3.7 centimeter. I think that's a pretty hefty. Oh, probably. That's a good 2.5 inches worth of steel plate. These things are beefy. And there's the gun at the rear. Still, 1 Molotov on those engine inlets there, and it's all over. Which I think they addressed in later tanks. It was really the Germans and the Russians that, through their constant combat on the Eastern Front, drove the development of tank technology. If you look at Allied tanks, they're good, but they're nothing like the Soviet and the frankly the Nazi tanks. They were something else. And there's a bit of damage on what would you call that, a mudguard from when I crashed into that birch tree. Alright, let's see if we can pull some more crew. Fuel tanks, okay. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, so the crew is new, like probably only a few hours new, I think. Alright, who we got here? I reckon this is the driver, and I'm not sure if the driver has the luxury of being able to jump out of the tank or not. He might be enclosed in his tomb, so to speak. But I gotta finish this. And I'm back again, sorry about that. We'll have a bit more of a look at the KV1S crew before we get sniped. like, from what I can see so far, maybe there's only 2 guys can be outside of the tank at any one time. And even though the commander's got a coupler there, I think that's a coupler. I don't know if it can open or not, because he's decided to exit out of the hatch on the right hand side there. Yeah, I reckon that's kind of cool. So what can I see in here? That's the commander's coupler. That's the commander. Is that the driver or someone down there? I think that's the radio operator, and they can't see the driver because the gun's in the way. What do you guys reckon? I reckon this is really good. What do we got here in the chat? Americans relied on mass production like the Sherman. Yeah, definitely the Sherman. I think they actually scaled down production of the Sherman in 45 because they realised they were producing more than they needed. Like, we're talking hundreds of thousands of tanks scheduled to be produced, mostly in Detroit, I think. I think the Sherman Firefly was a pretty good tank, but the initial Shermans, I think they were, what would you call them, Roman candles? Yeah, Jim, check it out. Left Windows and C will lower the driver's view shield. Oh, I was wondering about that. Let me try that. Something. I'm not convinced that it did what we were expecting. Should have opened, I think. Okay, yeah, that's what it does. So it's kind of like extra armour for the driver's view. And you definitely want that if you're going into combat with 88mm guns pointed at you. You want that well closed over. Looks like there's a gap there. I think it's definitely work in progress, but it's coming along nicely. That's the radio operator out of the bottom turret there, and that's the commander out of the top turret. They do cut a fine figure. Yeah, I've tried driving over these bridges before with the tanks to mixed results. It's a monster of a tank. I think it's on par with the Tiger. And look who's arrived for the party. Got him. Still no tanks though. I better get my commander in. inside. It's raining. You too, Gunner. Back her up a bit. Toby says, and now the high detailed AI vehicle damage model comes out to play. Yeah, I noticed it's not as easy to destroy a truck as it used to be, which is good. It makes it much more realistic. Right, let's try out that truck. If it's full of explosives, it will go up just like that, but other than that, it will take a while to kill it. See, normally that would have just like exploded in a Hollywood-style fireball, but now let's see. Yeah, that's much better. The truck could be empty or anything. There could be spam in there rather than high explosives. I would have expected it to explode by now. Let's try a shell. If I can shoot straight. KV1 had terrible survivability to my knowledge when the tank was knocked out. They were hard, when the tank was knocked out, they were hard to kill. Okay. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't probably be as high quality as a Tiger, I would think. There we go, so the shell, the direct hit from the shell took it out. There's another truck there. I think I just shot over the roof there. Okay, I'll try a shell. And I've got to shoot it a little bit higher. That ricochet. I think they've improved the ricochet model. That was one thing I read briefly in the developer diary. And what's that done? I think it's smoking. Oh, look at that boat. I think it has a new skin. I don't think I've ever seen that skin on these boats. In fact, I don't think... This is a torpedo boat. Wow. Right, there's that half-track with the mortars on it that I destroyed initially on the bridge. And there's me over there. There's a staff car hiding behind the half-track. There's a truck. 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks. And the one that I hit is smoking. Which, yeah, that's a much more realistic model. Oh wow, look at that. So you can see the wheels are buckled and it's smoking, but it hasn't actually exploded or anything, whereas the one behind it that I did hit with 3 magazines worth of MG and then with a shell did explode. And I think I hit this one with a shell, but it wasn't a direct hit. I think that's a really nuanced feature of the game that improves the realism tremendously. definitely want to destroy a truck, you want to get a direct hit from a shell. Although I got a direct hit on that truck and it's smoking sort of aggressively. I wonder if it'll explode in due course. This one over here still needs some work. It hasn't decided to explode yet. And that was a ricochet at the front there. Looks like it ricocheted directly into the carcass of the previous truck. Ooh, there's a direct hit. And there's a bit of shrapnel or something flying in the village. And I'll cut the engine so I can be heard over the engine. Alright, that's pretty much going to do it, I think, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. I guess you all want to go and have a shot now. So we've got the Fokker D7, we've got the Sopwith Dolphin, we've got the KV1S with crew, and we've got the Tiger II with crew. So it's all happening, and there's been some improvements too. Before I do go, as long as my tank doesn't get shot, looking on my mobile, I'm going to read out the developer diary just so we can go through what the updates are. But that's basically at the end of my presentation. If you tuned in after it started, I started off flying the Fokker D7, then I switched over to the Sopwith Dolphin, and then I had a look at the Tiger, and now we've got the KV1S, and now I'm just going to have a look at the developer diary. That sort of graphic sequence there is pretty nifty. Alright, so this is update 3.011, released today, is it today? 5th of March 2019. I guess it depends what time zone and hemisphere you're in. Today is an important day. First, we just released 2 new World War I fighters. Oh, there goes that staff car! Ah. Alright, I'll let him go. I'll let him go this time because I'm reading. Oh, that's annoying. Where was I? Today's an important day. First, we released 2 new World War I fighters for Flying Circus. Volume 1 customers get the Fokker D7 and the Sopwith Dolphin. They are the 5th and the 6th aircraft released for it. So along with the map of Arras, which is being actively developed, we can say that Flying Circus project is progressing nicely, and more than half of it is already complete. That's pretty good. I can't wait to fly in the Arras map. No tanks on the horizon. Where was I? Second, our tank crew project finally includes visible crew for 2 already released tanks. Since we'll be releasing 4 new tanks, that's going to be good. And the Prokhorovka map really soon. That's also going to be really good. This project is also maturing at a good pace. Of course, we also prepared a list of many other improvements for you, and there's a ton of improvements that they've listed. There's like, I can see 24 improvements that they've listed. I'm going to just skim through them. So they've got the D7, they've got the Dolphin, the KV1S, and the Tiger have crew. AI pilots correctly attack landed or taking off enemy planes. Something about artillery markers. Simple vehicles now have more detailed armor, noticeable when attacking from above. Projectile ricochet modeling became more complex. Yeah, seen that. Wandering personnel don't die from collisions that easy. Pathfinding vehicles travelling through settlements have 25% less performance impact. That's pretty huge. Simple vehicles adjust their speed accordingly to the surface type. So I guess if they're driving over a dirt road, it's different than if they're on a sealed road. There are new AI vehicle formations available. Okay. AI keeps formation better. Something about multiplayer. Flight model, a rare critical bug causing a application crash has been found and fixed. Aircraft propellers interaction with the ground surface has been made more accurate so their blades won't sink into the ground during a crash. There's a few things for flight model. Flight model aircraft propellers won't vibrate when damaged. Engine is turned off. Something about force feedback. Visual shaking inside the cockpit is added when control surfaces are buffeting at high airspeed. That's pretty good. I think that's to do with compressibility that they're developing for the 262 specifically. The delay between releasing a trigger and the actual stop of firing has been minimised. Several guns are now reloaded one after another without overlapping. I'm not sure what that relates to. And finally, in-cockpit gunfire sounds were improved for Flying Circus aircraft, and there's a few good pictures there as well. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.